The second that I hit right about here, my pec just starts cramping. Dude, my pec, like I'm telling my boy, like I legit thought for a second that I definitely had torn it. Probably the scariest thing that could happen to you while you're working out is tearing a pec. And today I'm gonna be talking about my one experience where I swear I almost tore my pec. So before we get into this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I might be making some more stories about things that happen in the gym because I've been around the gym for 5 years now and seen some crazy stuff. So let's get into it. All right. So it was about it's been over a year now, and I'd say it was about last January, right? So probably a year and 3 months. I was working out for this, competition that was coming up. It was coming up in April, and it was pretty neck and neck with me and this kid. Over time, he was gonna end up dropping a weight class, which was best for both of us because we were both gonna win our class, and it was just really not worth like the clash between us. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much, man, I'm working really, really hard on this. And as we're entering like November, right, I start seeing him put up some crazy lifts, like some stuff that I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was looking at it like, holy crap, I'm gonna lose back to back. And what was crazy is because the year before I got third, and I was really, really disappointed with that. And I was seeing this kid posting around November, and I was like, bro, I can't believe it. Like, I'm gonna lose back to back years. I'm not even gonna win my senior year, which everybody thought, yo, he's gonna come smoke his senior year. And we're in like November, and the high school nationals page had posted like a lifter highlight of him, and they're like ranked number 1 at my weight class right now. And I was like, bro, I literally have a higher total. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell? And so this stuff's just getting to me badly. And the reason I'm explaining this is because this is what's going to set me up for this failure, right? This is what's going to set me up for something that probably almost changed my career for good. You know what I mean? And so I'm constantly like annoyed by this. I'm training really hard, and he's making like bigger progress than me, and we were both blowing up at like an insane rate. I mean, when I say that we were blowing up, like we were both putting on like 5, 10, 15 pounds per lift per week. Like it was insane. Like I can never go back and ask for that progress again. Like I remember one week I hit 600 for 2 on squat, which was like a PR. He posted 605 for 2 on squat literally like a few hours later, bro, knowing that I would see it. And I was like, what the hell? So the week after, I squatted 645 for a PR. 2 weeks later, I squatted 661. A week later, I squatted 675. Like 4, 5, 6 weeks later, I squatted 683. A few weeks after that, a couple weeks after that, I squatted 705. Like, bro, the rate that we were blowing up was insane because of the motivation, because of the competition. And it was really a great battle between the two of us. Now, he dropped, I ended up heavier, he was lighter. I think the weight cut kind of hurt his lifts a little bit. But, it was the right thing to do in the end. But it was some great competition for a while. It was definitely fun. I would say, if I was going to say that. But there was a point where I got carried away now, and I got very carried away. I mean, all I did was think about this. I know that he was the exact same way. He was a great competitor, very respectful. Talk to him, weekly basis now. But when going into this, I was just like, man, my bench is my best lift, and I need to make up as much gap as I can on that to prepare for the deadlift, right? So his deadlift was his best lift. My bench was my best lift. Our squats were pretty neck and neck for a while. I think over time I definitely had the higher squat. But for like a while leading in the competition, it was definitely neck and neck. But his deadlift just beat mine so bad. I was like, I need to create the biggest gap possible on bench press. And so I'm like, all right, how can I get there, right? Everybody knew that I had a big bench already, but I was like, how can I get to that next level of benching? And so I was right around like a 455, or sorry, a 445 pause bench when I started to up the days to 1 day a week. I would do 3 times benching a week, and then the next week I would do 4 times benching a week. So I was kind of like in the cycle. So like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And that worked pretty good. The fourth day would typically just be like 225 for a few reps because it was just a lot of benching. I'm not gonna lie. If you're benching 4 times a week, you understand, like, it's no joke. You know what I mean? Just to put it simple. But as this time's going on and I'm up, I think it was like a little bit before I hit this the 500 in rep. So I I was pausing, I think, what was it? It was like 452, something around there. It was right after I hit this 445 that I realized I'm like, I'm doing the math on my phone between me and this kid, and I'm like, dude, I'm just not gonna beat him. Like, I'm just not. Like, the bench needs to get more. Like, I need to press 450 at this meet because I did 452 in the gym. It was more like a soft touch and go. It wasn't really like a true pause. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna need like 450 at this meet to put some weight on him to have this gap because I was planning he was gonna bench like I think it was like 360 something like that, and I was worried because he posted a 750 deadlift. I was looking at only maybe a 760, so it was 90 pounds. So I need to beat him on the squat, and I need to put a 450 on bench. Like I needed to, it needed to be there. So pretty much what I was doing was I was going balls to the wall on bench because in my mind, bench was the one thing that was gonna like, if I could secure the bench, I would love to see him like with all that pressure try to pull the deadlift. So I'm training dead hard on bench. I mean, I'm going balls to wall at every session. And then one day I just had this idea because my friend did it, and he's been doing it for a long time. But of course, I never did it, so it didn't come into my mind like, oh, maybe it's not a smart thing to do this. My friend benches just about every day, um, 6 days a week. It works for him because he knows like what he's doing. He knows not to really hit accessories that hard. For me, I'm more of like the big accessory type of guy. But whatever, my friend Dick Sack, if you guys watch any of those videos, that's what we call him. But yeah, so I'm like, all right, maybe I could get away with benching every day this week. Man, terrible mistake. Holy crap, terrible mistake. So we start off Monday with a huge bench day. I go crazy on everything. Boom, boom. Tuesday typically is like when I would do like back-to-back bench pretty much. And so I hit my lighter lift on Tuesday. Everything worked good. Now we're jumping to Wednesday. This is normally when I would have a rest day right before like a heavier bench day to a lighter bench day again. But we're on Wednesday and I'm like, I don't really know what to do today because I've been going, like I do heavy, light, rest, heavy, light, rest, and then heavy. You see what I'm saying? That's how I was benching 4 times a week. Or if I was going 3 times a week, I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I was benching 4 times a week, like I just said, I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for bench. And it worked pretty good. Like I said, worked very well. But that Wednesday, because I was like, I'm going to bench 5 times a week this week. That Wednesday, I was like, I got no clue what I'm going to do. I laid down under the bar, bro. I took off 135. I swear it felt like 225 normally did. It was like dead heavy. I was like, holy crap. And literally with 135, I felt my left pec. I will never forget this. I felt my left pec cramping at the top. Like when I was locking the weight out, I felt this pec like cramping. And I was like, I never really have had like chest problems before, so I don't, what's wrong with it. So I'm like, all right, we're going 2 plates. And so at the time, like I said, I'm benching like 450 or so. And so I'm like, all right, dude, let's load up, 2 plates. We're jumping 1 to 2. Bro, my pec is cramping at the top of every single rep, and I don't understand it, right? Because I'm like, normally people tear a pec when they're pushing like upwards, you know what I'm saying? Not just at the top. So I'm like, maybe I'm dehydrated. I go walk over, drink some water. Like that's really gonna do anything, because I think water normally takes a little bit of time before it instantly hydrates you like that. And I'm like, I do not know what's going on. And so my pec is cramping at the top and it's telling me stop. If you watch anything about the Trend Twins, when Mikey tore his pec, he said he felt like crap. Like he knew it was coming, but he kept going. And what's crazy is when I watch that story, I'm like, man, did I get lucky, because it was the exact same way. I knew it was coming. Like dude, it was foreseeable that a pec tear was coming. My pec kept cramping at the top. And I was like, dude, it just doesn't matter. Just drink some water and just get after it. You know what I mean? Like I got meat to win. So instead of going 275, which I should have done because I was feeling like crap, maybe I could just judge by 275, jump straight to 315. And normally I jump straight to 315. I've been doing that for a long time, 225 to 315. But that day I should have went 275, so I could have even judged a little bit more because I was really confused. Like, why is my pec cramping at the top? And so we go straight to 315, and I do it, exact same cramp, right? Exact same cramp. And I was like, it's just weird, Maybe I just dehydrated today, but I'm still gonna get my workout in, and I'm gonna go up to like 405, something like that. And that's pretty heavy, right? That's like 40 pounds under my max at the time. So yeah, that's 405 is pretty heavy for me. to put that in perspective, if you're benching like 350, that's about how 315 would feel for you, right? So it'd be pretty, but it's still pretty heavy. So I'm like, all right, 365. That's a normal jump, right? I didn't start jumping 315 to 405 until like a few months after that. So yeah, normal jump to 315 or to 40, geez, to 365 after the 315, and this was when I legitimately almost tore my pec right off the bone. I know for a fact. I don't know. I don't know how I got saved by this, but pretty much what happened was I took the weight out and my pec started cramping. I didn't even start to lift. Like I was just pushing like this and my pec was cramping. Now this could be because I did like some flies before or the day before, which I thought it was maybe why I just hurt at the top. And even though my pec was dead cramping, like while I was holding the weight out in front of me, it was begging for me to stop. Listen to your body right now. I have to tell you guys, listen to your body. If anything like this ever happens, please listen to your body and stop. Because I probably would not be here making this video. You probably would have never found out about me had I torn my pec right here. This was before the 500 bench. This was before nationals. This was before my world record total. This was before any of that stuff. I was still pretty underground. I still think I am underground, but on compared to where I am now, I was 1,000 followers on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like I was dead underground. So pretty much from there, man, I take out this 365. My pec is cramping at the top. So I take the weight down as fast as I can. Again, not a smart decision. Well, because when you take the weight down so fast, you lose all the tension and then you just put a ton of tension on there. And you know, some people bench like that. I still kind of bench like that, to be honest, but I try to take it a little bit more control than I used to. But not a smart thing to do, gonna say that. And so I take the weight down as fast as I can. It literally like falls on my chest. And I like put everything back into that press. And the second that I hit maybe right about here, my pec just starts cramping. And you know, I don't say anything because I'm mid lift, but it got so slow that I felt all my right arm doing the work. Like my whole right side was pressing that up. It was so slow. Like it probably moved at like RPE 9, saying that it's like damn near 100 pounds under my max. And literally right here, I swear all my right arm was doing the work. And when I got to the top, the cramp was actually insane. Like the cramp back in my left pec again was insane. And I racked it. I'm like, dude, my pec. Like I'm telling my boy, like, holy crap, I don't know what just happened. Like it hurt bad. And normally when you get like a pec cramp, something, it goes away once you put it back. My pec hurt bad. Like I legit thought for a second that I definitely had torn it. And he was like, dude, don't do anymore. Don't do anymore. Don't do anymore. I was like, well, bro, maybe I should just do 315 one more time to see like if it feels bad. Luckily, I did not do 315 again because he pushed me off to do so. But my pec hurt. Now, leading up after that, my pec hurt for a good, probably 2-3 days. So looking back at that, it's very possible that I did tear a part of my pec, but it was just so small. Like, you know, typically when people tear a pec, it'll be from like right here and you'll see all this bruising. There could be a chance that I tore like a small fiber in here and that's why it hurt so bad because, dude, it hurt crazy. So like, if you ever see a picture of Scott Menderson, I think is how you say his name, he tore his pec like completely off the bone, all purple. Super famous picture, by the way. But it's like all purple and through here. Most people tear the pec from here downwards. I guess you could tear your pec from the bottom too, but that's pretty rare. But I think what did happen was I did tear like a small piece in here. And what did I do after this, right? How did I, when I thought I had torn my pec or almost did, how did I react after this? I took a straight week off of benching. You know, I had to look back and say, you know, lifting is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's not to win some stupid contest. It's not to say like, oh, I won my senior year, because nobody's ever going to remember that, right? It's for you. And I had to look in the mirror and say, you know, if my best isn't good enough to beat this guy, then my best isn't good enough to beat this guy. And that's just what I had to accept right there. So I took a good week off of benching, and luckily my pec had healed up. I got back on to benching 3 times a week. I cut the 4 times a week because typically when I would do 4 times a week, I would feel small pec cramps and stuff like that. Now, right now, me sitting here right now, I do believe I could bench 4 times a week, but I probably won't, just for the reason of I like feeling healthy. I like not having pains. I haven't had pains since benching, or since then. Like I really haven't had bench pains since then, because that really educated me a lot on what too much is, stuff like that. And looking back, like that was probably one of the biggest lessons of my lifting career. It has to be for you. And if your best isn't good enough and somebody's just gonna beat you because they've had more time, maybe they just develop faster, you can only give it your best. You can't go beyond your best. And that's what I really learned that day is like, man, I cannot bench 5 times a week. That will never work for me. So I went down after that. I went to 3 times a week. What happened literally 2 months after? Literally 2 months after that. What happened? 500-pound bench. Larry Wheels reposted it. God's plan, man. It was actually great. I'm so grateful that I didn't tear my pec that day. But you know, God's plan really came in. I started benching 3 times a week. My bench still blew up. I hit 458, which was, I think I had more, but that was like my best leading into the meet. I had a tough meet cut, so I missed 441 at the meet. But you know, I still put up enough. I still would have beat him if he was in my class, but he had to cut too. So it was like really weird for both of us. But it worked out. And it really made me like look back and think like, man, lift for you. Don't lift for anybody else. So if you're dealing with something like this and you're wondering how can you get past a plateau without doing too much, how can you avoid getting hurt, stuff like that, go ahead, email me, send me a DM on Instagram. I offer coaching. I offer like paid video calls, stuff like that, and I'll also answer any like small questions for free. If you want to send me a question, you know, that I can respond with in maybe a paragraph or less, go ahead, shoot me that question. I'd love to respond for free. Or if you're interested in the paid stuff, like I said, that too. But anything that I could offer you guys that can avoid stuff happening to you guys that like almost happened to me, I would really be grateful for it. And also, like, as I'm sure Mikey from the Trend Twins could say, quit when you don't feel it. When your body is telling you stop, please stop. So guys, thank you for watching this video. A little bit of a longer one for a story time video, I guess. I'll probably tell a lot more stories because I have some crazy ones from all my years in the gym. And go ahead, like and subscribe. Blake Wentz signing out. Peace.